freaking awesome is that music? I always love the music. So good. Today we're talking about all of this stuff. Countdown timers, PiPs, interviews, graphics, all of the things in Ecamm Live. So we're going to tackle exactly the questions that you were asking during the countdown, how to set up your graphics in Ecamm for a professional look. We're going to talk about what you need to know about creating your own graphics. What kind of graphics do you need? What size graphics do you need? All the things. And also we're going to tackle live Q&A to answer your questions. Are you ready to get it? Give me a big yes in the comments. Welcome to Go Live Now. Thank you so much for being here. I see all of you in the chat room. We've got Nick and Jose and Alan and Mike and Raul and Paco and everybody else. If you are new around here, you've never seen me, you've never been to an Ecamm show, let me know if you are new. I'm Luria Petrucci, and I help you create professional live video that is uniquely you. Now, I'm from Live Streaming Pros, but this show is called Go Live Now, and I do this in partnership with Ecamm, which is my freaking favorite Mac software for live video. And yes, we have used them all out there, and Ecamm is the most awesome, in my personal opinion. Now, we always get the question, what gear are you using? And you can check it out right here. If you go to livestreamingpros.com/GLN for Go Live Now, you can actually download this graphic and you can get access to all of the links that we're going to share today. I see you in the house. Love Gurus. Hi from LA. We've got Jonathan in the house. We've got Felicia. We've got Dennis. We've got Dawn from San Diego. Thank you all so much for being here. So the goal today, we have a goal in mind today. We are going to up your game with a more professional setup in Ecamm. Okay, so I want to give you a quick rundown of exactly what you're going to see in today's show and learn how to do. So you already saw, we have our main camera right here, right? You saw the countdown timer, and we're gonna show you how to build that out and everything you need to know about that. You saw the fact that I played an intro video already. You saw the fact that I put up a lower third. Lower third is just basically my name and my URL, right? But then also we can do cool things like a PIP, right? A picture in picture where I share my screen and I do a little tutorial video and I say, this is what you need to know and this is how you do it. And you can share your screen, show whatever you want on there. And then we can also, Katie in the house, have guests on, right? Katie is from Ecamm. We're going to come back to you in a minute, Katie, but thank you for being here.
You bet. Excited to be here.
And here's another option with Katie, right? You could do like something super simple side by side with just a little graphic in between, or you can do the full-on guest PIP like we do. You can go full screen to her, right, when she's talking, and which she will be here shortly. And you can do all kinds of things, right? So I'm going to show you how to accomplish all of this. And I know that you guys have so many questions about this. So I'm going to do a tutorial. I'm going to show you how to do it all. And then we're going to tackle Q&A at the end if I don't answer your questions. Okay, so keep them coming. We do have people kind of gathering up these questions, and thank you. Oops, I keep hitting the wrong button. Whoops, I was trying to hit Steven. The comments are coming in so fast. Yes, and you can learn exactly what gear I use at that link, livestreamingpros.com/GLN. So you are good to go there. We have all of the links ready for you guys. Okay, so keep those comments coming. Now we're going to show you how to accomplish all of this. But first, I want to tackle the question of what exactly do you need for your graphics, right? So the things that I'm showing you today is all designed by our designer, our graphic designer, the magical Mr. Paul Dixon. And he does all of the images that I then load into Ecamm, right? So this is like some of the features are native to Ecamm, and I'll describe which things are native to Ecamm and which are outside graphics that we bring in. But you also can do this yourself, right? So essentially all you need in order to accomplish what you see being done here today is a transparent image or an MOV file in Apple ProRes 4444 with an alpha layer. Okay, so those are the things that you need to know in terms of building them out yourself. You can use Canva, right? That's a hugely popular do-it-yourself graphic tool. Canva, if you are going to use that, you do need the Pro account, because with the Pro account, you can do transparent images, right? So with Canva, you need the Pro, but you can also do it in Keynote. Since you are, using Ecamm, you're an Apple user, right? So you could actually load in Keynote and remove the background color and then save images as PNGs, right? So you have options available to you in order to, do your own graphics. And the size that we work in is 1920 by 1080, right? So every graphic that we do, even this, right? So even this graphic, and you'll see it as I teach you how to accomplish this, is a 1920 by 1080 graphic. It's full screen, but of course it's transparent so that you can see my face and my set and all of the things, right? So that just is an animated file. You can do it animated, you can do it static. It's up to you. It's up to you and what environment and coolness that you want to add to your stream. So again, anything that can export images as a PNG with transparency or an MOV video file in Apple ProRes 4444, that's 4 fours, with an alpha layer, that is all you really need. You can do it in any tool that you choose to do. Now, before we get into the tutorial itself, oh, really? Alex says you can save with transparency for free in the Canva mobile app. I did not know that, Alex. Thank you for sharing. That's awesome. So the question here is really, should you do it yourself? Okay. I am a big believer in hiring out graphics because I suck at graphics. Within my company, I do not allow myself to touch the graphics because it looks like a 2-year-old drew them or did them, right? Like I suck at them. You have to know your strengths and your weaknesses. And if you can do something and keep it super simple, even if you're not that great at it, then do it, right? But do try and, put your brand's best foot forward. And if you feel like it kind of looks like total old school 90s, or if you feel like it's really not something that would be considered professional, then hire that out, right? We're looking into honestly providing some graphic packages for you guys. We don't have those ready yet, but that is something that we're discussing within our own company to be able to help you guys out. So look forward to that if that's something that you need. But the question is, should you do it yourself? And you have to be honest with yourself. And I think that this is one of the things that turns very quickly from an amateur live video, right? And if you don't know what you're doing, like I don't know what I'm doing with graphics, my show would be very amateur. Versus professional, which is putting my brand's best foot forward. It's really setting the stage. It's attracting the right clients to my business, right? And so for me, that's really, really important and something that you should have a conversation with yourself about. Should you, shouldn't you? If you do choose to do it yourself and you're not great at graphics, just keep it super simple. For example, this interview pip, right? It adds a little something extra to it. It's just a side-by-side. This is a native thing that Ecamm does, side-by-side interviews. However, we just added that little, that little stripe down the middle to give it a little bit of oomph, right? So that's something that you can do very simply and easily without going crazy. Okie dokie. Are you ready to get down into the tutorial? I am excited to do this. Carol, yes, totally. I don't like to recommend Photoshop unless you already know Photoshop, because Photoshop is so intense. I would never be able to work within it. But like Carol says, Photoshop is an option as well, that if you already know Photoshop, you can totally do this. Again, you can do it in any tool that provides the transparency or the Apple ProRes MOV file. Okay, I'm going to share my screen and we're going to go into live demo mode here so that you can see exactly how to build all of this stuff. Now, you can see over here in my scenes window, and this is how I run a show, is through scenes. I have all of my scenes. I have everything I can possibly want to put up on screen as a different scene. And of course, my Stream Deck here, right, which is in the link, livestreamingpros.com/GLN. This is attached, like all my scenes are attached to here, so I can just hit the buttons and it makes it super, super pro and easy to run. Okay, and thank you, by the way, Melanie, for sharing this stream out to your friends. Appreciate it. All right, so we've got the countdown, we've got the main camera, we've got all of these different things. I'm gonna start with showing you how to build out a countdown. Now remember, this countdown is actually a transparent MOV file, right? It has a little bit of a layer on it, and I'll show you. So I'm in my training folder here. We're going to do countdown. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is it's got the main camera on it. We definitely want the main camera for my countdown. You could do you don't have to do a transparent countdown like I do, but you could just have a video that plays and not have it transparent. But I know that you guys are all into our countdown timer. So you've been asking me how to do that. So what we are going to do is do an overlay, and we're going to do an animated overlay. Okay, and I'm going to go to my Go Live Now assets. And by the way, if you're not familiar with the term assets, that's all of these things. That's all of the graphics, all of the extra things that we're adding to it. They're just generally called assets. All right, so we've got the MOV file, right? And I'm going to add that here. And I'm going to make sure that it's an animated overlay, not play full screen with audio, because that would remove my video and we want to see my video on top of it. However, if you are not going to do a transparent countdown, then you would want to play full screen with audio. Okay, so add animated overlay. And you see it's just coming in here. Now I have the ability to move this around, but like I said, this is a full screen thing. So we're gonna just adjust this, bring it out like that, okay? Now what we wanna do is we want to click this little plus size button here, the little arrow that's right here, and we want to loop it. So what we've done is we've actually created a very short, small file that just loops. Right? So we don't want to bog down our computer with a huge file. We just have a little short one that has like the different colors or whatever we add to it. And then it just loops inside of Ecamm. Okay. Now what we want to do is we want to add the countdown overlay. So this is the outside file. However, it's working in conjunction with a countdown overlay. See, so overlays in the menu, then go to countdown overlay. And then that gives us the native Ecamm integration for the countdown itself. This is important. You don't want to build it into your file that you're bringing in, because it won't be able to do things like you're going to see here in a second. So I do countdown for an amount of time. I set that for 10 minutes. You can set it for whatever amount of time you want. And this little box right here is really, 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 really important. Go to the next scene when finished. So my next scene is, of course, my main camera, so that when the countdown timer is done, it's popping back up onto me and I can start the show. Okay. Then you can, of course, go in here. You can change the colors. I'm not going to mess with anything. You can change the background, all of that. And then, choose your font. Paul Dixon, our graphic designer, is very specific about which font we use, right? So we're going to do that. Now, what I'm going to do real quick in order to test this, if I can grab this here, it's hiding from me. Hold on. Come here. I got you. Come here. There we go. I'm going to do 10 seconds actually to test this. Okay. So actually I'm going to do 20 seconds because I need time to edit it. All right. So now I'm going to, per my graphic designer's instructions, increase the size of that to fit right underneath the show starts in. And then I'm going to pause this for a second. Another important thing, you guys love how I actually have music during my countdown scene, right? And so I'm dancing, I'm goofing off, we're getting ready for the show. I use Epidemic Sound for this. That is what we recommend. The link to Epidemic Sound and a free 30-day trial is coming your way. It's also on the /GLN page that's in the description. But we have basically in our sound effects. So this is the sound effects that is built into Ecamm. And I've loaded in a whole bunch of Epidemic Sound songs and a couple from other services that are not Epidemic Sound, but we have all of our songs in here and somebody asked, is it okay to play copyrighted music? No, it's not. These are services that Epidemic Sound is a service that basically gives me the license to play music on my show, right? On Facebook and YouTube and Twitch and Mixer or anywhere else you might go to. So this is really important. You do not want to use copyrighted music. Otherwise you will get taken down. You'll get strikes or the copyright, strikes and all of that stuff. So you don't want to do that. Okay. So now that I've loaded in this is the button that you want to do. If you want to add music to your countdown timer, you want to click the folder right here, the little gear icon, and click Add to Scene. Now you hear the music. The other thing you want to do is you're going to mute your mic, okay? And I'm going to bring this down just for the sake of me being able to talk through it, but you can hear the music, and you want to make sure that your music is adjusted to you want to make sure that your music isn't way too loud than your audio when you come back on screen, right? So you want to make sure that you're thinking about the audio, testing the audio, all of that good stuff, okay? So you definitely want to have this muted in this particular scene. And then it'll unmute when it goes to the next scene. Okay, so it's gonna loop. Once everything is done, the countdown timer runs, then it's going to go to the next scene. However, look at this. I don't actually have a next scene for it to go to, so we need to add a new scene. And this is gonna be my main camera. And you want to think about this build out of your scenes in the flow that you want your show to go. All right, so we have main camera. And so now that I'm going to play the countdown timer scene, it's going to end and it's going to go to my next scene. I'm going to... Katie's over there dancing, right? And so we dance through it, yeah. And the music goes away, right? And then it goes to the next scene. So that's how you build out a countdown timer. And again, you can do whatever you want. This is all your brand. This is your unique style. Play with it, have fun with it, but this gives you some idea of what to do there, okay? So we're going to go on to the next thing, which is my intro, right? And in terms of Epidemic Sound, we have a question coming in. do you use do you have to be subscribed to Epidemic Sound at all times in order to have that? No. So when you're subscribed to Epidemic Sound, what happens is, or any service like this, but like when you're paying for that service, you are using those songs in your videos, right? In your live streams. As soon as you stop paying, everything that was in the previous time period when you were using that music or paying for that service, you're clear on. You can't go download everything from Epidemic Sound, the entire catalog, and then stop paying for it and then start using those songs. It's within the time period. You're clear, you're good to go. You're not being forced into always using it. So the videos that are already out there with it, while you were paying, you're good to go. All right. You are very welcome, Rachel. I hope this is helpful. Is this helpful for you guys? We're going to answer questions, of course, at the end of this. So let's move on to the next scene, which is my intro, right? So I have an intro video. You guys saw that at the beginning of this video. And what I want to do is I want to make sure, by the way, pro tip here,